Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. Martosis alongside In Control, and we are in Game 5 of Polt versus Deer.
Yes, and we do have a correction to make. It wasn't Deer that won BlizzCon. It was, in fact, Team Liquid's Hero. So I wanted to make that very clear. I did work at that event, and
That's right.
I paid attention.
No, I remember very clearly when CJ Antis Hero won that.
Yes, and it was a narrow victory, by the way, over Sulky, I believe.
Yeah, of course. It was a real upset because, you know, Samsung Shine is really the best player in the world.
Yes. What did you tweeted me the other day, by the way? What did Shine do that I would appreciate?
Oh, God. Oh, I'm going to tell you all about that right this second.
No, tell me now.
We aren't in the game yet. So basically, he made a Hydra's Den and hit a Spire, and then he made 2 Hydras with a bunch of Lings and sent them across the map to try to sell it. It was hilarious.
Did it work?
No. Anyways,
of course not.
Let's introduce these guys. In the bottom right of Daedalus Point, it is Mouse Deer.
Boom. And his opponents in the top left-hand side, thinking Colossus don't necessarily need range to win. It is CM Storm Polt. What a bunch of malarkey that was. Protoss so damn good, it can win even without range. Nerf now, please.
Well, you got that 1 extra Colossus for the saved money.
That's true. That's actually the whole point of the build.
That's,
I'm an idiot.
Yeah. You should know
this. That's
Korean
meta. You see that on the ladder all the time, don't you?
Yeah, like sometimes you just skip Stim to get an extra Marauder or something. Yeah, it's like a good move, right?
That is so good.
Who needs Zergling speed when you can get 4 extra Banelings?
Well, actually, Rogue kind of did that one of the games, actually, didn't he?
That is true. Well,
not going to probe scout this time, by the way. You notice the gateway goes down, and not going to do it. He's like, you know what he realized? It's Game 5. He's like, you open up the same freaking way every single time.
Well, I'm glad he finally realized that. If you watched a few Polt VODs, the pattern becomes apparent very, very quickly, to be honest.
It's hard to call it a pattern when it happens 100%. It's like, wait a second.
I saw him go, he went Command Center first once.
Oh, okay, that's happened.
Yeah.
It was the spring of 2013.
3 years ago, he used to 1-1-1, so.
Was he one of those guys?
He actually is the first one that did it on TV.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, he started a lot of pain for a lot of Protosses.
Yeah,
so
that was annoying for a while.
It's another thing we can attribute Polt with the 1-1-1. Sick.
Artos and I were just saying this off camera. Again, this is completely selfish. It is going to be what it is, but we both hope for a good game from these guys. It's been 4 steamrolls, it feels like.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much 4 steamrolls.
It had a chance to be interesting, but I feel like, Deer just was locked down, not going to get harassed by Polt's poking and proddings, and goes up to 3-3, which is a very, I mean, that's not reinventing the wheel. This is something Protoss do. But Polt he had no answer. He had 11 Vikings against those Colossus, but because he walked them out amidst Stalkers, they died in record time. His upgrades were so far behind that whatever survived was just more than Polt could deal with.
Yeah, 3-3 against 1-1 is insane. Like, when you're 1 upgrade up, it's pretty good. It's pretty nice. Yeah. If you're 2 upgrades up, suddenly you're like, I have a timing here. 3 upgrades up is just silly, and then 4 upgrades up, that almost never happens. Almost never, because it's just it's ridiculous. You just lose. No matter what units they make, they just send them. Unless it's like you went +3 armor and you're only going Archons. That's not as good.
That would be weird.
Yeah, that would be weird.
I can't remember what Protoss it was, but for a while he was upgrading Shield first to do that Zealot Archon style. That didn't catch on, but it was kind of cute for a while.
It's a neat idea.
Yeah, it's a neat idea. So Reaper's scouting around. SCV did pull up to the natural, didn't see, the 1 gate expand that we've seen in a few of these games so far. And this Reaper will back off as it does value its life, but so far we have a different opening. There is that Stargate for the first time in this best of 5.
Looks like he's going to be going for an Oracle here. Yep. And in the meantime, Polt has already started a little bit of bunkerage.
That's so weird to me. That's just him. Well, I mean, that's him operating off the information he's been given, and then he immediately salvages it. Immediately. So, not to read too far into that, I always find that annoying when casters are like, oh, that means he's tilted, he's going crazy. But it does mean that Polt is not entirely certain with what he's facing. That is worth noting.
But you know what? He has these Marine movements that we've seen in previous games where he's always blocking Oracle at certain moments. And that's definitely something you need to work into your play if you want to be a top-tier Terran player.
What do you think about the Oracle timing that we have here? It's not the proxy, it's not super fast. This is just a very vanilla, you know, expand and then Oracle.
I like it. This is actually a build that I like to do quite often. It gives you a little bit of harassment, gives you a lot of scouting. As long as you don't lose this Oracle, it's really nice. And you can always fly around the fringes of the base and maybe find here and there an SCV to kill. On top of that, you tag armies. It can give you detection, though it's normally not going to do that. I quite like it. The only thing is, normally you're going to follow this up with High Templars plus charge.
Right.
But these Widowmine pushes with lots of Marauders in them are very good against that. So it becomes a little bit difficult for most Protosses. But anyways, that's going a little bit deep. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, so far 1.5 SCVs, and at the naturally shouldn't find too much more success. In fact, he's going to want to keep that Oracle alive, so he should try to bow out, gets another SCV. So not enough, obviously. But the nice thing here is, Artosis said, is there is the continuation. Now, missile turrets are going to have to go down. He can target the Terran army and just keep tabs on it that way.
Yeah.
What I would say, though, Artosis, that I think is a big drawback to this opening is if the Terran is just powering bio like Polt is, if you don't really damage their economy, you're in danger of them being able to really muscle you down.
You certainly are. A lot of Terrans nowadays are actually... Ooh, he actually gets out of there, which is nice. But a lot of Terrans nowadays are actually moving out at stim against Oracle openings like this and just seeing what you have and just kind of walking across the map. So Deer has to be on his tippy toes here. He needs to make sure that Polt is staying in his base port, but if he's moving out, he needs to get in the right position. Oh, he's actually going straight into Blink and a lot of gateways.
And a really fast third. This is interesting. I cited it earlier. I'm a big fan of Minigun. Very strong North American Protoss player. He does a build very similar to this, where he's able to defend that third. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a Photon Overcharge, which of course 2 are available, and then a lot of Blink Stalker. So actually, I really like the positioning of Deer in this situation, because if you look at this army that's moved out for Polt, that's not enough. That's not going to do it.
No, certainly not, especially without Medivacs. I mean, as soon as the first stim wears off, this army is almost useless. So just kind of poking out, and of course, he hasn't actually seen this third Nexus yet.
No, and it's, I got to tell you, Artosis, I mean, he sees it right now. I think the savvy thing to do would be actually to back away.
Yes.
I mean, of course, we have all the information. But as the game progresses, that Blink upgrade, it's super strong right now, but as it becomes 4, 6, you know, and beyond Medivacs, Blink is, it's not going to do it by itself. You need Colossus, you need Storm, you need something else.
When you run into a build like this that suddenly he's been very greedy and gotten ahead of you, and ooh, hold on, we actually have a good amount of Oracle harassment once again. Oh. Misses that last one, but you know what? As long as he saves the Oracle, it's all good. 8 kills, pretty good. 6 of those are RCVs. But you know what? When something like this happens and your opponent was extra greedy and got away with it, I feel like attacking is never the right choice. I think that you need to back up a little bit and rethink your situation. Find some other way to do it. Like harassment can be fine, but if he does a full frontal attack, that could really not work out for him.
I'll tell you what, Artosis, this is what Polt does. This is what he makes work. I look at this and I feel very fearful for him. He scans, sees a chunk of that army. That army is the more powerful beast over there, but he's going to go for this double drop and hope that he can just spread them out.
Well, he's bringing up his Blink Stalkers right now and kind of going for it, targeting down Medivacs, throwing down a lot of force fields as well, but we do have this other army running into this third base. The probe's going to come up and try to force back this bio army, but Polt just letting it shoot everything.
He gets the Mothership Core, gets some probes, he will get the Nexus, and now it's just Stalkers. All of a sudden, Polt is in fantastic position, even as a Widowmine in the back of that natural. And it looks like this Force 2 will be cleaned up. It's going to come down to the Blink. It doesn't have enough to get there. Both the Medevac's going to get away. Widowmine gets one final shot off, has a total of 5 kills. And just like that, Polt is in pretty good position. As I say that, though, of course, it's the kiss of death. He's going to lose a few more units over there. 2 Medevacs shot down.
Yeah, he does lose a couple more Medevacs, but overall that was really, really effective. He's got more SCVs than Deer has, well, maybe not for long.
Just build the missile turret already, for God's sake.
Yeah, really, this has been a little bit greedy by him, but you know what? It's now even on probe versus SCV count, but he killed that third Nexus, and that's a real big pain here for Deer.
Deer's doing something weird. He keeps warping in Stalkers, which, you know, conventional thought tells you that's a mistake, that's bad. But what it does do is it puts Deer in a position, well, hold that thought, actually we're going to have a big engagement over here, and this is actually kind of what I'm talking about. He's chipping off part of that unit, and now Polt can't really retreat. If he does, the Blink Stalkers just get underneath that and pick him apart. So Polt has to make a stand right here. That's exactly what he's going to do. and he's going to turbo boost away, but in doing so, he's either giving up the Bioforce or giving up all of the Medivacs as well. And you can see Deer turning that into a nice little semi-victory there.
You know, but I think Polt did as well as he could in that situation. That was a hard one.
Deer's overextending.
Oh, God, yes,
Deer's
in fact he is. Oh, losing these sentries could be absolutely it. That is so painful.
This turned around really... Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that was... Deer went way too far on the map.
And Ermiel down. Deer's going to back away with just playing Stalker's Daedalus. Such a small map. We were just fighting mid-map, and now all of a sudden here we are again. That is a big force. They do have charges. They're 1-1 Protoss units, so it does have what it takes to probably push this back. But again, Artosis, we got to go back to all those sentries dying. Deer overextended, and he is in a world of trouble.
Well, after losing those sentries, I'm almost giving up on Deer in this game, to be perfectly honest. You can't lose like 7 sentries after you lost your third base. You're never going to replace them all, so...
No, he's going to back away. There's another warp, and again, just Zealots. He's got a Temple Archive about halfway there. He's got a decent chunk of gas, so if he can hold on, Archons could be just what he needs, but as I say that, Artosis, that's me just doing the caster thing. He's pretty dead. He's in a lot of trouble.
This is, it's a terrible situation. He's down by like 30 or 40 supply at the moment. He's having like some okay battles right here, but Polt doesn't care. He's got 3 bases going with a really nice economy. He's just rallying out endless units. And Deer needs to really slap these armies down. He's just not doing it. He's barely holding them off.
Despite the medevac losses earlier on, Deer is still facing a good 5 or 6 of them right now. And that is making Polt's army nigh invincible. He's going to push forward. Probes even coming off the mineral line. That is not a good sign. Polt is going to kite backwards here. And the Stalker count is so low that he's not really in danger of getting punished if this battle does turn south from, as you said, Artosis. He's just trading super, super well right now.
Yeah, this is it. We're going to see a GG in just a second. Polt has just outdone him. Deer has been outplayed at this point, and he is going to fall.
GG is called, and Polt with the pump. There it is. Played so well. Went down to the distance. 3-2 victory. Deer overextending, and that's going to be it. Polt is your victor.
Yes, he is. And I tell you what, he's got a lot of fans here in Portland.
You know, Artosis, just about everyone predicted him to win. You were the only guy pretty much that was completely wrong on that. What do you think?
I think Deer definitely made some pretty heavy mistakes in that series. Especially on Habitation Station, that was a big mistake. Did a bit of a misplay in this last game as well. Definitely overextended the middle, but also when he went to deal with that drop at his natural, I feel like that's something that he could have guessed was going to come out of Polt, the attack on the third. So it's too bad, but you know what? Let's not take anything away from him. Polt has won this. Let's see what he has to say.
Thank you very much, gents. CM Storm Polt, congratulations through another round. Ladies and gentlemen, the Protoss Killer. Let's talk a little bit about the map. I know your heart is thumping right now because I felt it, but but first 2 games, it's 1-1, it's all tied up, and then the third map. Did he surprise you with the way that he built in map 3? It was almost like he said, no, he won't go Reaper again, but you go Reaper every time, right?
Yeah, I do Reaper opening every time, but he might have thought like, if I have just 2 Marines or less than that, the Mothership Core can deal with it and kill some more SCVs. So he wanted to take advantage of that, but he failed. I think he had a little bit mistake. I think I felt the Mothership Core is shooting supply depots sometimes.
Okay. 2-2. You lose map 4. What went wrong for you in map 4?
Just in generally, when I played Widowmine drops, I lost 2 games, but if I opened up with 3 Rex, then I won. So I think it's the build order error.
So a small build order, very honest of you. It goes to map 5. What are you thinking in the... I mean, you spoke to me when we were in Cologne and you said you like this tournament because it's quiet and there's, no one makes any noise and you can concentrate. Everyone makes noise here for you. They're shouting your name. How do you concentrate in there on map 5?
To be honest, I like the place like ESL Studio where it is calm and I can concentrate on. But my favorite place, like here, big stage with big crowd.
I know that I knighted you before, and I called you Sir Polt. I don't think I can make it any better. So you would become king of StarCraft, I guess, this weekend, because it's the only thing left.
Well, there's 2 games left. If I beat 2 more opponents, probably Protoss, 2 Protoss, then I will be the king of StarCraft 2.
Yeah, a touch of modesty about him as well. Polt is our man who goes through. The Terrans live on yet again. Let's see what the guys over at the analyst desk think about that.
Thank you very much, Red Eye, and what an interview with what an incredible player. And he shows us once again that he is capable of absolutely anything. And with the support of the fans behind him, is this guy stoppable?
He's got so much momentum behind him right now. He's shown so much happiness already advancing, and he proves once again that his TVP is sick. It was no coincidence in Cologne, and he's playing so well.
And what do you think about him and Hero? That's a crazy game now in the semis.
And I agree, Polt is playing really well, but I want to give some props to Deer for really bringing it to him, even without the thermal lens. He put up one hell of a fight, and he really brought it to the last game. So very impressive. Polt, if there is one Protoss that can beat him here, again, it's going to be Hero, and it's going to be his next opponent. It's pretty scary of a match.
That's crazy, right? I mean, that's very difficult to predict. You've got a 2-time Intel Extreme Masters champion. You've got a finalist from Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. You've got Polt, who is on fire. I mean, that is just brilliant. That's brilliant from the get-go.
Yeah, it keeps getting tougher and tougher for Polt, it seems like. At the same time, we're getting so close now to him possibly being in the final. Just one more match, and then, you know, the big game for the $100,000. So, I mean, Polt, he played so good that I feel like, especially now, seeing how many people are supporting him, that he's just going to play better and better from here on out.
And some people get nervous when being on stage, but some people kind of feed off that energy, which is being given over to Polt. And how much of an advantage is that really for a player? Is it an advantage where you could say this player is feeling really sick, his opponent? Is it kind of that kind of scale of an advantage?
It just kind of gives you wings. Like, it makes you play your very best. You go into the game with a good mood, knowing that a lot of people are going to watch, they're going to support you, and that always helps. It's not one of those games where you sit at home in your pajamas and you're playing by yourself, and it doesn't really matter, even though it's ladder and you want the points. It's where it matters the most, and that changes everything, I think.
All right, well, that's us done over here. I'm going to head it over to Red Eye in a minute. Our next game is going to be a Jakchi versus SOS. That's going to be a good one. We've got the BlizzCon champion versus a player who's really making a stir in the European scene.
Yeah, another sick TVP, and just like last IEM, Jakchi and Polt fighting for Terran. And last time, Jakchi couldn't quite pull through, so it's going to be interesting to see what he has come up with in the weeks in between for his TVP matchup.
All right, well, thank you for joining us here on the analysis desk. Over to Red Eye.
Thanks very much, Apollo. And we have our first semi-final, and it is a repeat of a game that has already taken place in the Intel Extreme Masters, which, by the way, Polt is the only man to have beaten CJ Enters Hero in an Intel Extreme Masters game. What a cracking semi-final that is. Next up, we have our last 2 quarterfinals. Don't go too far away. Quick break coming soon, but also don't forget we have predictions still going on, and you can deliver those predictions via Facebook, facebook.com/IEM. Like the page, enter the tab. You know the drill by now. Get your predictions in for match number 3. It's coming next.